Ladies and gentlemen, this is Big Ray's Wrestling Show. You know me, I'm the mark of the masses, the man with the plan. Big Ray here to stay to talk some TNA today, Bound for Glory 2013. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be brutally honest. I'm going to break down this pay-per-view. I'm going to give you a full recap, and I'll give you some of my opinions on the matches. But I want to hear from you guys. Please leave your comments here below at onewrestling.com or YouTube/OneWrestling video. Guys, we're going to jump into the first match, which is basically the pre-show, the number one contenders gauntlet match. And I gotta be honest with you, the overall match with all the teams, everything included, I actually enjoyed very much. We started off with Bad Influence versus Tessmacher. Now, towards the end of the match, we have Chavo, who hits the Three Amigos suplex on Daniels. Then he goes to the top rope from what I'm guessing is probably the frog splash. Now, what happens at this point in juncture, Daniels is actually down on the mat. He's actually distracting the referee, grabbing his legs, and we have Kaz, and Kaz knocks Chavo off the top rope. Then we have Daniels, who rolls Chavo up for the 1, 2, 3. So the team that I actually thought was going to win it all actually continues to move on. They face Eric Young and Joseph Park. Now, towards the end of this match, we have Eric Young, who hits a textbook belly-to-belly suplex on Daniels for a close 2 count. Kaz then gets tossed into the ring by Eric Young. Daniels then basically choke slams Eric Young, then goes up for the best moonsault ever, which is one of the most beautiful moonsaults in wrestling, and he basically misses it. Joseph Park and Young double team Daniels, which basically leads Joseph Park hitting a big fallaway slam for the 1, 2, 3. So believe it or not, Bad Influence is eliminated. I actually thought Bad Influence would win this match. I thought it would be better to book it that way. But really interesting. After the match, though, Bad Influence made their presence felt. Bad Influence decimated, destroyed Eric Young and Mr. Abyss. I'm sorry, Mr. Joseph Park. They left him lying bloody. Joseph Park is actually assisted out of the building. And while he's walking out of the building, or he's walking away from the ring, he kind of gives a cold stare back with his bloody mouth. And you know what that might lead to. We find out later on. But we have Eric Young, who's basically laid out in the ring. And we have BroMans. And BroMans actually comes to the ring. And they basically pick it up with the scraps to the left by Bad Influence. Towards the end of the match, Eric Young basically tries his best to fight off both men. But they hit the heart attack, that be the BroMans, and the BroMans win 1, 2, 3. So they are the number one contenders for the tag team titles. Guys, what do you think about this? What do you think about BroMans actually going over these other more reputable tag teams? I was actually totally shocked. I didn't think these guys had a chance. Anyway, we go backstage and we have EY, who's basically Eric Young, looking for Joseph Park, and he sees like a bloody handprint on the wall, and he opens the locker room door, and he gets all scared, and he tells the people that are operating the cameras to just back off. Could it be Abyss? Well, we move on, and the pay-per-view actually officially begins with the Ultimate X match. Now, I gotta be honest with you guys, I honestly thought that this match would steal the show. Not so much. Listen, the match had its great moments, so, you know, with all the finishers and the crazy diving moves, and even the ladder. You know, ladder came into play. Now, the finish of this match, in my opinion, was not totally great. Basically, the wind down of the match, we have Jeff Hardy, who's able to hit a twist of fate on Chris Sabin, and Sabin is knocked out of the ring. Now, Sabin is outside of the ring, and he's arguing with Velvet, telling Velvet to get into the ring to distract or to stop Jeff Hardy from climbing the ladder, which he has set up. Now, really quickly, again, this is an Ultimate X match. And the thing that kind of upset me is that TNA has this thing where they like going away from tradition or from what made them special. Just like, again, this is my opinion, ladies and gentlemen, I wish we had the 6-sided ring back. I would like to know what your opinion is with that. But why are you bringing a ladder into an Ultimate X match? What is the purpose of having the ropes across the structure? Anyway, well, Velvet actually comes into the ring while Jeff Hardy's about to climb up and get the belt, and Velvet actually ends up distracting Jeff Hardy. She was not happy about being inside the ring. Well, now, while this is going on, Chris Sabin is actually sneaking up behind Jeff Hardy, up the other side of the ladder, and Jeff Hardy is a little too late noticing, climbs up the opposite side of the ladder. They both have their belts on hands on the belt, but the truth is Chris Sabin actually has a firmer grip, able to hit Jeff Hardy over the head with a championship belt, and Chris Sabin, the ultimate dark horse, actually goes over and wins this match. Guys, how do you feel about this? I honestly thought Jeff Hardy would win this, or maybe even Austin Aries. I thought those names would help bring prominence to the X Division title. How do you feel about Chris Sabin once again holding the X Division title? Is it a good thing? I mean, he has kind of that heel swagger going on. They do say the chase is better than the actual run. We'll see. Now we have an in-ring segment. We have Christopher Daniels and Kaz, and they come out. Bad Influence, the greatest tag team in wrestling today, and they come out to gloat and basically complain over the fact that, you know, well, let me put it to you this way. At one point, Kaz says, and I'm going to read this because I don't want to misquote him. He basically says, "Not since the premiere of Brokeback Mountain have two men been more screwed than Bad Influence," which I think is hilarious. Now, anyway, while they're complaining and gloating and doing everything they have to do, Eric Young actually comes down to interrupt, and Bad Influence attack him. And when this happens, ladies and gentlemen, the monster Abyss comes into the ring and decimates, destroys Bad Influence. Ladies and gentlemen, yes, Bad Influence is destroyed by Abyss. So Abyss making his presence felt and known here in TNA again. Is he here for good, or will we see his brother, Joseph Park, again? Well, Abyss extends his hand to Eric Young, so apparently these two guys are a tag team. I would love to know what you guys think. Do you guys take this tag team serious? And speaking of tag team, we go on to the tag team championship match between BroMans, Storm, and Gunner. I gotta be honest with you, it was a decent match. Towards the end of the match, we have Robbie, who basically distracts Storm and the referee by throwing the tag team belt into the ring. The ref's back is turned, and Robbie, what he does is he actually jumps off the second rope and smashes Storm in the back of the head with a flying forearm, which allows BroMans to hit the heart attack for technically a clean, well, maybe not so clean, but a clean 1, 2, 3. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have BroMans as your new tag team champion. Do you see a pattern here? You have Chris Sabin as the X Division champion, and we have BroMans as your new tag team champion. We'll get into it a little down the road. Now, we have Kurt Angle, and this is a Hall of Fame segment. I'm going to really run through this quick. Excuse me, I'm still getting over cold, guys, so please excuse this. Kurt Angle actually turns down the TNA Hall of Fame. He says basically that he's not, in layman's terms, he's not worthy of being in the TNA Hall of Fame like Sting is. He felt as if he hasn't lived up to the standard that Sting has set. But then Angle says something interesting. He says he will set a new standard in the industry. I mean, what else does Kurt Angle have to prove? Listen, let's just be honest, guys. If there is a Hall of Fame for wrestling, Kurt Angle is in it. I don't know why he turned it down. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes in TNA, but this is the way it happened. Kurt Angle was full of tears. It looked genuine. I don't know if this was a work. I'm pretty sure it was. Not really sure, but anyway, we're going to quickly move on to the TNA Knockouts 3-way title match between Gail Kim, Brooke, and ODB. And again, I had picked ODB to go over. I wouldn't be surprised if Brooke went over. We jump into the end of the match. We have ODB, who basically looks like she's set up to win the match. And I did predict on the Can-Am Wrestling Show with Andre Corbeil. You can find us there every single week, Tuesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, www.tnamecca.com. I did predict that Lady Tapa will make her presence felt, which she did. Lady Tapa basically comes down the aisle, and you see ODB taking a swig of that liquor, and, well, all she ended up getting was a big boot to the face. She gets knocked out. And then Brooke, on the actual stage, goes for like a flying body press. She's caught in midair, and then she's powerbombed from outside the ring back into the ring. Ladies and gentlemen, Gail Kim is able to pin and win. She is the Knockouts champion once again. Guys, again, there's like this pattern developing, and I'm going to get into it again later on. So we move on to the Kurt Angle and Bobby Roode match, and this match had possibly one of the weirdest, oddest endings I've ever seen in a match. Basically, towards the end of the match, we have Kurt Angle at the top of the rope with Bobby Roode, and he hits the angle slam. Now, when he hits the angle slam, he stops moving, almost as if he got paralyzed. And Bobby Roode, the referee starts counting to 10. He gets to 9. Bobby Roode stands up, falls on Kurt Angle, and gets the 1, 2, 3. Now, I don't know. I don't know what happened here. I mean, is this a work? Is this legit? Was he hurt? Did they have to end the match this way? I mean, why? Why are they doing this? I mean, did Kurt Angle really get hurt? I mean, we know that he won a gold medal with his broken freaking neck. This was one of the weirdest endings. Bobby Roode goes over Kurt Angle, and Kurt Angle hits the finisher off. I don't get it. But basically, Kurt Angle lays out, and he acts, like I said, again, like he's paralyzed, or God forbid that he is. He's taken out of the stretcher. Now, this is a match that I didn't care for leading up to the match. And I honestly feel that the fans didn't really give a damn about. And the fans were very quiet during this match. And I really didn't enjoy this match. So I'm going to really quickly cover it, and I want to hear more from you guys. The crowd was basically dead for this match. Sting versus Magnus. And I had made reference again in the Canon Wrestling show to this match potentially being a rehash of Bruno Sammartino and Larry Zbyszko. Now, if you haven't seen that match, I want you to Google, YouTube, or whatever the hell you want to do. Go on the internet, and basically prior to Bruno Sammartino fighting Larry Zbyszko, he was his mentor, and they had a match where Bruno was holding the ropes open for Larry Zbyszko, and he would, basically counter every move Larry Zbyszko had. Larry Zbyszko did some great moves, just like this match. And there was a point in juncture where Magnus actually did the whole Sting, after he, again, I love Magnus. I see Magnus as a world heavyweight champion one day. In my humble opinion, I do not think Sting did anything for Magnus. Sting actually, during the match, puts him in a couple of what I feel were weak-looking scorpion deathlocks. Magnus finally putting the cloverleaf on and actually making Sting tap out. Excuse me. I did find what happened after the match a little more interesting than the match itself, where we have Magnus going to each corner, celebrating. Sting's walking around all limping with his hand out, and Magnus is kind of ignoring him. Finally, Magnus acknowledges Sting, sticking his hand out, shaking his hand, but has that smug look on his face. I am really hoping Magnus is turning heel. Again, I think he's fantastic on the mic. He has a fantastic look. And again, I thought Sting would win this match. TNA is showing a pattern that they're kind of going young. See, you may have not liked this pay-per-view. I wasn't a fan of this pay-per-view, but thinking long-term, I think all the moves that they did today are basically, like my buddy Andre Corbeil says, they're hitting the reset button. And I think this is a good move. So, again, I may have not liked this match. I am happy that Magnus went over Sting. Didn't pick Magnus. But I want to hear what you guys think. Leave a comment here below. We're going to quickly move on to what I call one hell of a match. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the World Heavyweight Championship match between Bully Ray and AJ Styles. And so much happened in this match. It was a great story told during this match. I'm going to try to break down this match in detail without giving everything. Basically, during this match, Nux comes in to interfere. He hits AJ Styles with a sick choke slam, one of the best choke slams I've seen in years. Bully goes for the cover, but Bully does not get the 3. And Bully gets mad at Nux because I guess Nux didn't do the job. Then Bully goes to hit AJ with a clothesline. He actually knocks Nux out. Try to say that 3 times fast, ladies and gentlemen. The hammer ends up coming into play. Outside the ring, AJ Styles takes, he has the advantage. He has Bully Ray, and he's going to hit him with the hammer, but he decides not to. He lays Bully Ray on this table, climbs back into the ring, and then he slingshots himself from inside the ring to the outside, does a 360, bam, right through the table. The fans, holy S, holy S, holy S. That was one hell of a bump, AJ Styles. Again, one hell of a match. Now, while AJ Styles is totally laid out, Taz hands Bully a box cutter or a knife, and Bully begins to cut the ring apron, exposing the plywood, the wood underneath the mat in the ring. Of course, you guys, if you guys don't know, that ring, that wrestling ring, if you haven't been in a wrestling ring, I have, those rings hurt. The mat is this thin. As you can see, it's just a little bit of padding. It's all heavy wood and 2 metal springs, guys. This is no joke. Bully Ray actually exposes the wood, and then like a year ago, calls out the boys. Nobody shows up. Weird. Dixie Carter does show up. She comes out with a chair. She hands a chair to Bully Ray. So apparently there's some type of, let's say, relationship developing between Bully Ray and Dixie Carter. Bully Ray turns around, holds up the chair to his face, getting ready to hit AJ Styles. But AJ Styles, with a springboard flying forearm, smashes Bully Ray into his face with the chair, pins Bully Ray. 1. Not so fast. Dixie Carter basically threatens Earl Hebner's job. Earl Hebner is not able to count 3. Holy cow, so much going on in this match. Then Bully Ray basically hits a huge bully bomb off the top rope. Oh, I'm sorry, off the second rope. We move on. Bully tries to hit a power bomb. AJ then basically reverses the power bomb and hits a Pele kick, knocking the hell out of Bully Ray. Then finally AJ grabs a chair, hits Bully with a straight chair shot to the face, goes up to the top rope, jumps off the top rope, hits the spiral tap. Ladies and gentlemen, Earl Hebner totally disregards Dixie Carter. He counts to 1, 2, 3. Ladies and gentlemen, we have ourselves a new TNA World Heavyweight Champion, and that guy is the man who should have been the champion a long time coming, AJ Styles. I want to know what you guys think about AJ Styles being the TNA World Heavyweight Champion. Guys, again, I feel that this pay-per-view may not have been the best, but I do believe, in the words of my buddy Andre Corbeil, TNA has just hit the reset button. I'm interested to see it impact what happens between Bully Ray, the Aces and Eights, the X Division. Guys, oh, and I totally forgot to mention, there was a match earlier with EC3, Ethan Carter III. And really quickly, he fought some skinny bum off the street. He finishes him off basically with a front face DDT. Is Ethan Carter III going to be a big player? I got to be honest with you. The guy looked great, and I kind of like the fact that his Aunt Dixie picked the opponent for him. Guys, I want to know what you guys think. Ladies and gentlemen, you can follow me here every single week at OneWrestling.com, YouTube /OneWrestling video. You can follow us on Twitter at OneWrestling. Follow me on Twitter at Big Ray's Show. Guys, you can catch me also at www.tnamecca.com for the Canon Wrestling Show every Tuesday night at 6 p.m. with my good buddy Andre Corbeil. Guys, I always say this, I would do this for a living, but if I can, I would do it anyway. Why? Because I love talking wrestling. Ladies and gentlemen, again, this is Bound for Glory 2013. May have not been the best pay-per-view, but in the long run, it may mean something. Guys, Leave your comments here below. Subscribe. I want to hear from you guys. Peace.